Pulitzer Prize-winning play by director John Patrick Shanley. It features nominees Meryl Streep, Philip Seymour Hoffman and Amy Adams in the principal cast. And for good measure, the film's also up for 5 Oscars. Already named Best Actress by the Screen Actors Guild, Streep plays a formidable nun and principal of a Catholic school in 1960s New York. When fellow nun Amy Adams reluctantly tells her that priest Philip Seymour Hoffman may have behaved inappropriately towards a young male pupil, Sister Streep decides it's time to ask a few questions.
The boy acted strangely when he returned to class.
He did?
When he returned from the rectory, a little odd, yes.
Can you tell us why?
How did he act strangely?
I'm not sure how to explain it. He laid his head on the desk and said...
You mean you had some impression?
Yes.
And he come from the rectory, so you're asking me.
That's it.
Did you want to discuss the pageant? Is that why I'm here? Is this what you wanted to discuss?
Yes.
So, is Philip Seymour Hoffman's father Finn guilty of abusing a pupil or just of undermining Streep's traditional way of doing things? Doubts remain, but the filmmakers insist that can only be a good thing.
I felt that in the time that I was living in, when I was writing the play, that doubt had become a sign of weakness as opposed to the hallmark of wisdom that it had been in previous ages.
It's the only hope we have against the doctrinaire and the things that don't admit human frailty, human fallibility, all those things. So doubt's our friend, I think.
And doubt is the Academy's friend too, with the film collecting 5 nominations, including 1 for Best Supporting Actress for Viola Davis. So what was it like for her, going head-to-head with a screen icon?
Her work is extraordinary, so her standards are extraordinary. So I felt like there was no room to fail. I had to go there. At the same time, I had to have the courage to know that I was running the ball in the right direction. And it was not pleasant to have boogers running down my nose in front of Meryl Streep. But I figured that if I could affect her character, then let the boogers spill. Do I ask the man why he's good to my son? No. I don't care why. My son needs some man to care about him and to see him through the way he wants to go. And thank God this educated man with some kindness in him wants to do just that.
This will not do.
It's just till June.
I'll throw your son out of this school.
Why would you do that if it didn't start with him?
Because I will stop this.
Though an A-list cast was at work, there was more than one kind of craft on display during the shoot.
Meryl started knitting in rehearsals, and then she taught Amy, and then the two of them would sit and knit, and in silence, getting ready to do the scene. It was peculiar, very peaceful, and vaguely menacing picture that I think will always stay with me.
So I think he was a bit frightened of us in our little black bonnets, knitting in silence.
It was something that bonded us and excluded them. And it was women's work, and all of those things helped the film.
You don't like it that he uses a ballpoint pen. You don't like it that he takes 3 lumps of sugar in his teeth. You don't like it that he likes Frosty the Snowman, and you are letting that convince you of something terrible, just terrible. Well, I like Frosty the Snowman. And I think it would be nice if this school weren't run like a jail, and I think it's a good thing that I love to teach history and that I might inspire my students to love it too, and if you judge that to mean that I am not fit to be a teacher, then so be it.
Sit down. Look at that. You blew out my light.
Set in the 1960s, an era successfully recreated with just a few telling details, Doubt is obviously a period piece. But if it's in one sense a snapshot of a more trusting age, the story it tells is clearly all the more powerful because we're aware of the cases of clerical abuse that have emerged in recent years. That knowledge inevitably and rightly hangs over the film, but that isn't the only reason why this is an important and moving drama. Within the close confines of school, convent and church, an environment the film barely leaves, the sparks truly fly in the power struggle that's expertly played out by Meryl Streep and Philip Seymour Hoffman. He is splendidly subtle, at least until the furious sermon directed at Streep's character, where he wails against the evils of gossip. And she is just extraordinary. In a year which has already seen some outstanding performances by actresses, this is yet another. While to the list of Streep's own memorable film roles, a list which stretches back over 30 years, remember, we can now add this unforgettably nuanced, funny, tough portrayal of a woman who will do anything for the welfare of the children in her care. That includes having them hate her for being too strict or confronting the power of the priesthood. So for lovers of the craft of screen acting, Doubt is pretty much unmissable. A compelling story blessed with huge talent and told with complete credibility. Of course, on Sunday night, we'll